So in the beginning of the film, we see a car that had stopped at a gas station. A man comes out of it and goes inside the garage, and tells the mechanic to fix his car. But the mechanic replied that the garage is closed today, and no car will be fixed. That man said, "Please fix it. My dad is very unwell, and it is important for me to go there." The mechanic seemed greedy. He asked the stranger, "Will you pay me in cash?" When he got the answer in yes, he started fixing the car. And after fixing the car, he asked for $200 to fix a little damage. Instead of giving money, the stranger started laughing at him. The stranger said, "I knew you were greedy, so I have something special for you." He took out a gun, shot him there, threw the gun and left. After fixing the car, the stranger goes to a man named Slim, who runs his bar. Coming here, we come to know the truth that the mechanic, who had just been killed by this man, Slim had given him the task of killing him, because he had not returned Slim's money for a long time. At this time, the lock of Slim's bar was being repaired. At night, someone tried to steal something from his bar. And what was stolen will be found out at the end of the movie. Now, in this bar, we see a girl named Marilyn, whose boyfriend had come to propose to her today. She had also made a cake for her boyfriend. Today was a very special day for her, so she decides to leave the bar early. Marilyn goes to her boss to take a leave, so there was a stranger sitting there. Marilyn did not listen to both of them, but for now she left. That stranger also takes the chemical substances and money, and leaves from there. And when she comes home, she first hears a voice message from her boyfriend, Travis. He tells her that my mobile battery is about to die, and I am on my way, I will reach you soon. Marilyn got busy in preparations by putting her phone on charging. She decorated the house a little, changed her clothes, and at this time, we saw that she had a gun in her house. Suddenly she heard a strange noise from her door, as if someone was coming in. When she went down in fear, she saw that the door was shaking from the wind. There was no one there. After the scene was cut, now we want to show the stranger on the road, who was taking his car. Then he remembers that he also has chemical substances. He decides to take chemical substances while sitting in the car, so in this circle his attention moves away from the road. He was still driving the car and suddenly, someone came in front of the car, and he had an accident with his car. When the stranger tried to balance his car, the car hit a tree. Because of this shock, the stranger's own feet were injured. But anyway, he comes out bravely and sees the man, who was hit by his car. He saw that this boy's condition was very bad. His face was badly deformed, could not even recognize, and the blood was flowing like water. This stranger saw here and there, he saw a light on in the distance, which means someone is living there. Now the stranger thought of running away from here. First, he tried to drive his car. When his car did not work, he tried to drive the boy's car in front. When this boy's car did not work, he took out the keys of this boy's car, and put it in this boy's pocket. He dragged the body with his feet, and took it inside the forest on the side of the road. He was actually trying to hide this body. After the scene was cut, we see Marilyn again, who was preparing to eat at her house. Suddenly someone started knocking on her door loudly. She thought it might be Travis. He never knocked on the door like mad ones. In just a few minutes, she realized that Travis was not outside, but someone else. Marilyn did not open the door, but whatever it was, had come in through the back door. And it was seen that this was a stranger. The light he saw in the distance was Marilyn's house, and now he came to Marilyn's house. What did this man want from Marilyn? He ties Marilyn's hands and feet and ties her with a chair. While here in the bar of Marilyn, we see the police near her boss Slim. The police had come to investigate the murder of his mechanic friend. But Slim clearly refused that I did not murder, I was in my bar all day. If you want, you can check. For the time being, the police were satisfied, but the police said that the murderer has left his gun there. Hearing this, he also felt a little strange that why would a stranger leave his gun there? Instead of erasing the evidence, he left the evidence there. Anyway, now Marilyn's friend had come to her house to give her cake, which she had left in the bar. She knocked on the door again and again, but when no one opened the door, she left the cake outside. And on top of that, the stranger kept noticing her. As soon as the girl left there, he relaxed very easily, and started drinking milk from the fridge. After that, he was looking at Marilyn with strange eyes. He went near Marilyn, took out a piece of cloth from her mouth, and then fixed her skirt and covered it. As it seemed that he had bad intentions, this stranger was not like that at all. Now he starts checking Marilyn's house. And from the picture present here, we and the stranger find out that the stranger who had just hit this man with his car, and no one else, it was Marilyn's boyfriend. The stranger had come here to help himself. He wanted Marilyn's car from Marilyn's house, with which he had run away. But Marilyn's car was with her boyfriend. Both of them had only one car and one bad bike. When the man asks Marilyn about the keys, Marilyn tells him that Travis keeps all the keys with him. Yes, the same keys that the stranger had put in his pocket, and dropped him in the jungle. The stranger also understood that now he would have to go back to the jungle to get the keys. Here he went out to the jungle. On the other side, we were shown Marilyn's bar, where it was time for the last girl who was working to go home. That is, one of Marilyn's colleagues. When she came to her boss's room to tell that she was going home, the boss caught her, and started doing wrong with her. Because this girl had also taken money from the boss, that is, Slim. Slim, who used to give money to people, used to think of them as his property. Anyway, this girl somehow gets away from here, and Slim remembers to see his gun. He had his grandpa's gun, which he always kept safe in a box. As soon as he opened the box, his mind started to explode because there was no gun in that box. In fear, his nose started bleeding. He understood the whole matter. Yesterday, there was a theft outside his bar. The thieves were neither teenagers, nor did they steal anything ordinary. The thief was a stranger who had stolen Slim's gun. He had murdered Slim's man with Slim's gun. And he had left the gun there so that if there was an investigation, Slim would be trapped in his case. Slim was losing his mind. This stranger had double-crossed him. He had also taken a lot of money from Slim. And as a murderer, he had trapped Slim. Now it is shown that the stranger has come to the jungle. In the jungle, he is looking for Travis's body so that he can take his keys and at least get out of his bike. But what he sees in the jungle is that Travis, that boy, was still alive and was trying to crawl to his house. When the stranger came to him, he got scared. His body was bleeding a lot. He also had a lot of weakness. As soon as he coughed, his blood splatters fell on the stranger, and the stranger went crazy with anger. Although there was no fault of Travis in this, but the stranger decided to punish him for this innocent mistake, and killed him after beating him constantly. Finally, Travis was dead. After killing him, he began to search his pockets, from which he got the ring that he had gone to get for Marilyn, with which he had to propose to Marilyn. The stranger kept the ring with him and took out the keys. After this, he wanted to put his body in a permanent place. That is, he wanted to bury him. And when the stranger was doing this, Slim passed through here. Slim saw the stranger's car on the road, and saw a lot of blood on the road. He understood that something has happened to the stranger, and if there is something like this, then the stranger will be around here. He just wanted to take revenge from him. When he looked far, he saw Marilyn's house, and he left for Marilyn's house. Now he also saw a broken car of Travis. As soon as he came home, he called Marilyn, and gave Marilyn the shocking news that Travis's car was accidental on the road, and Travis was missing from it. And there was a lot of blood on the road. Marilyn was understanding what had happened, but she didn't want to understand. Now he asks Marilyn, where is the stranger? And it is shown from behind that the stranger has also come in with the axe. The stranger never waited a second, did not let anyone know, and in one stroke, he threw the axe into Slim's neck and killed him. Marilyn was very scared to see all this. Slim's blood was dripping on her face. She tries to go upstairs to save her life, but the axe comes and hits her head. Thank God she got away from the axe, because she bowed down and the axe was stuck in the door. As soon as the stranger took out his axe, Marilyn ran up. The stranger was also going up to kill Marilyn. As soon as he went up, Marilyn picked up her gun, which we had seen before. The door was closed. As soon as the stranger started turning the knob of the door, Marilyn tightened her trigger. He had heard the sound of the trigger, so he got away. He understood that he could not go in front of Marilyn like this. Marilyn has a weapon in her hand with which she can kill him. He now moved back from the door. There was a trap in his mind. He went down and turned the knob of the